and quarterbacks will be the dominant theme for free agency, which begins on March 18. Our list was published yesterday of the top 100 free agents. Now, I can take no credit or blame for it.
Oh, very well played.
Serena Williams puts it together. If it's great, she gets the credit. If it's bad, I got nothing to do with it.
Right.
It's great, and I trust her. She does it for us every year. It is not easy to do because you're taking all of the different shapes and sizes and positions and cramming them into one bucket. But quarterback continues to be the dominant position for the National Football League. And look at the quarterbacks on this list. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, and 8 in the top 10. Half of the top 10 are all quarterbacks. And number 1, Dak Prescott. And, we've talked about this earlier. What would Dak Prescott be worth if he was on the market, unfettered, like number 2, Drew Brees, like number 3, Tom Brady? Would he get $40 million a year if he was free and clear for any team to pursue?
I don't think he would get that. I think he'd get close to it. I do think he'd become the highest paid player in the history of the sport. And again, usually the quarterback who's a franchise guy and up next is the guy that becomes that. And yeah, I think he would be in that conversation. I think he'd probably pass up Russell Wilson and, somewhere between $37 million a year, something like that, with a huge guaranteed salary. But he certainly deserves to be the number 1 player on your list here. That I do agree with.
So you agree with that?
I do agree with that.
Beyond that, how do you feel? I have a feeling you're going to disagree with number 2 and number 3.
Well, I'm not putting Drew Brees or Tom Brady over Ryan Tannehill at this part of their career. No, I'm not. First off, I have an issue with Drew Brees being 2 and Teddy Bridgewater being 20. I'm one that'll sit here and I know this is going to sound like I'm a hater. I think the Saints would have gone 13-3 with Teddy Bridgewater too. They went 5-0.
Hater.
I know they went 5-0 with him. They went 8-3 with Drew Brees. So again, I know Drew Brees is awesome, but yeah, I think that's a little aggressive for Brady and Brees at this point.
How much? We hear all the time that when a new quarterback plays, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to figure out exactly what he's doing. How much did Bridgewater benefit from only playing 5 games? Like if he had played 5 more, would defenses have begun to figure him out?
Yeah, no, I think maybe to a degree, but I think this is why I probably don't give Saints quarterbacks enough credit in general to begin with, because of the guy being the play caller. Hey, we know Drew Brees is going to throw the ball short and over the middle, but yet it works every freaking week the whole season. It's because Sean Payton. So that's where he's special to get.
Are you saying he's a system quarterback?
Well, no, but I'm just saying he is a play caller who's special at not giving tells on some of his go-to plays or formations or being creative to get the same thing but in a different way. And that's where he's special. Now, a lot of great quarterbacks have had great systems around them.
My concern about Tannehill continues to be the reality that he had injuries in the past.
Yeah.
And I feel like last year may have had a certain element of lightning in a bottle where the planets lined up just right.
Sure.
He threw caution to the wind. He had stared the end of his career right in the face. So, we saw how many times did he dive into the end zone for a touchdown?
Right.
Not the Chris Sims don't hurt me dive that you did, your little pivot to the outside. Just diving right into the linebacker.
How dare you?
I know, I do. I dare. But he was fearless.
Yeah.
Because what the hell? He's got nothing to lose.
Right.
And now he gets paid. All of a sudden, he's got something to lose.
Yeah.
Now he's the number 1 guy. He's the face of a franchise. Now he's got something to lose. Now the pressure's higher. And, the things that happened in Miami, do they start happening again? That's my concern, especially from an injury standpoint. Can you trust him to stay healthy once you pay him $30 million a year or something close to it? That would be my trepidation.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I don't know if he'll be able to command a $30 million a year price tag. I would think it would probably be a little less than that, but that is the number 1 concern. I understand that. My big thing is this. Yeah, he got hurt in Miami. Okay, I get it, and sometimes injuries happen. But you get hurt when you play on crappy teams. And, man, he was on a lot of teams that had crappy offensive lines. Crappy. That's all we talked about when he was there in Miami was how crappy their offensive line was. So that is going to lead to injuries when you play against that, especially if you're then athletic and talented and you try to make plays happen that way. And it doesn't always mean just because you got injured early in your career. Hey, look at Drew Brees. He got hurt, never got hurt again. We were all going, man, I don't know, he might be injury prone. Is this guy ever going to be the same? So, I understand the questions there. I get it. But I think the way Tannehill played throughout his career when he was healthy in Miami, as we've talked about a lot, it's a little better than it gets credit for. And then what we saw last year was not just good, it was really good. I mean, it was a special year. It was a special year for him. And that's where I just go, I can't put Drew Brees and Tom Brady over Ryan Tannehill at this point of their career, because the things I saw the last 7 or 8 weeks of the season, Tannehill outplayed them. It's not even a discussion. He made a lot of big plays.
We saw some moments so late in the year where it was almost like the Jimmy Garoppolo approach with Ryan Tannehill, where they weren't using him much. Now you don't need to when you got today's Jim Brown at running back. But
well, there was use. Like, he didn't throw the ball a lot in the Ravens game, but they were useful throws. He threw the ball early on.
And very efficient.
Right, efficient. They were aggressive. He threw a deep post for a touchdown. He threw a fade to the left back corner, right? But then they got a lead, and they just said, screw it. Let's just keep running this big horse, Derrick Henry, and that took away from it. So it wasn't like they tried to hide him. He kind of struck early, and then they just said, well, we're going to play the formula we think that best gives us a chance to win the game. To me, that's different than the Jimmy Garoppolo way.
We're going to talk to Mike Vrabel, the Titans coach, later in the day, but we can pose the question to him directly. Why is there this trepidation? Why is this hesitation? Why is this guy not signed? Like, get him signed. Like, what? Because and we can't talk to him directly about Tom Brady, but there is this sense out there that the Titans may be thinking about making a run at Tom Brady, and you seem to be a firm believer they're far better off sticking with Tannehill than they would be doing a short-term thing with Tom Brady.
Well, I do. I mean, I think two things. One, yes, I think Tannehill's better than Brady at this point. Two, I think you danger yourself a little bit to, if Tom Brady decides he just wants to play one year, all of a sudden you're back in like, damn, we let Ryan Tannehill go, and now we don't have crap at quarterback. Marcus Mariota's not here.
Isn't that part of the courtship, though? Don't you say to him at some point, look, if we're going to come after you, if we're going to sign you, we need to know you're going to be here for 2 years. Can you make a commitment to us, man-to-man, face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, that you're going to be here at least 2 years?
Well, I think that has to happen. Now, the other part of that is, hey, you're 43, and then, okay, you said 2 years, but what happens if you're 43 and you tear an ACL at the end of the year because you're getting old and all things like that?
Or Father Time wins. Father Time's going to win at some point.
It's winning right now. We saw it. I know Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's the man.
What did you see that made you think Father Time is winning now?
You know what I saw.
You tell me what you saw.
Antsiness in the pocket, unwilling to stand in there and take a shot to maybe get the aggressive completion, being careful with jump balls down the sideline and throwing them 5 yards out of bounds. Why? I don't know. Whether he's protecting his quarterback numbers there or doesn't, I don't know what it is, but the play was good but not special. I didn't sit there for the first time ever. This is the first time ever, all right? We went through a whole season. I can't look at one game and say the Patriots won that game because of Tom Brady. Not one. There's not one game I go, ooh, they won it because of Tom Brady. They won every game because of their defense, and they just played kind of efficient offense where they didn't screw it up. And I think that tells you a lot, too. And I don't mean to say that. I hate talking
like this. Doesn't that tell you that because the big question is, what are the Patriots going to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to keep Tom Brady? And I can tell you that within the organization, there is a very real belief that he may leave.
Yeah, I get it.
And look, I think people in the media have accepted that.
Right.
I'm just not so sure that folks who aren't in the media, Patriots fans,
Foxborough,
have come to terms with it.
New England fans.
But I think there is a strong belief in the organization that he very well may leave.
Yeah.
The question becomes, what does Bill Belichick want? And think about it from a football standpoint.
Right.
Football versus business. From a football standpoint, what Bill Belichick would put as a value on Tom Brady versus what a team like the Chargers would put or the Raiders would put. Could you imagine Tom Brady as a member of the Las Vegas Raiders? Your buddy John Gruden finally realizing his dream of going rock climbing with Tony, who is so cool. You should see how he talks to waitresses. He gets free pie, right? He's so cool. He gets Tom Brady. They sell out that stadium every week. Las Vegas becomes the destination every time that team plays there.
Right.
They will sell more black and silver Brady 12 jerseys, assuming the Stabler family signs off on it, even though the Raiders don't retire jerseys.
Numbers,
but still, there's going to be Brady number 12, and they will sell like no jersey has ever sold in the history of the NFL. And that's a business decision, not a football decision.
Right. They're greater words for them than the Patriots.
The Raiders, the Chargers can make a business decision.
Yes.
Bill Belichick's going to make a football decision, and that in and of itself is going to manifest itself in dramatically different offers.
Right.
To the point where Brady's going to look at it and say, you don't value me. No, that's not the issue.
Yeah.
These other teams value you as a commodity, not as a football player. We're valuing you as a football player, and we can't tie up $30 million, $35 million, whatever it is, where teams like the Chargers and the Raiders can't.
Yeah, no, I think that is spot on. You're right. There's way more financial value as far as to the Chargers or the Raiders with Tom Brady as compared to the New England Patriots. It's not even close. And, I do think that Bill would be fine with, happy to have Tom back. But like you said, I mean, like we just talked about with Chase Young as far as the, not working out, it's a business. And Bill's not going to sacrifice what he thinks is the welfare of his team for the next 4 to 5 years just to sign Brady up to some huge lucrative deal for 1 more year or 2 more years or whatever it may be. Bill, this is where Bill's amazing. He does not let emotions come into play. He plays it by business and brains. He does not let his heart and emotions get involved. And I think he's already telling you, I think they're giving us the clues, the signals without saying it. Hey, we'll have him back, but we're not going to overpay him. We're not going to pay him $30 or $35 million a year. They don't think he's worth that at this point, and nor do I think they think that fits, what they're trying to build as a team either.
There's a report that the Patriots will be meeting with agent Don Yee, who represents Tom Brady here in Indianapolis. Look, Yee's going to meet with everybody. Now, the meetings with everyone except the Patriots are tampering, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. Every team does it. But coming out of the scouting combine, Tom Brady will know what's behind door number 2.
Right.
Whatever that is, whether it's Chargers, Raiders, Titans, Dolphins, whoever. He'll find out after that what's really behind door number 1, and then he'll make a decision. And it very well could be. And I know the organization, portions of the organization, bracing for Tom Brady choosing to leave. And if it happens, look, we'll be talking about it a lot. But, folks, if it happens, you can't be mad at the Patriots. You can't be mad at ownership. You can't be mad at the organization. They got 20 years out of the 199th overall pick in the 2001 draft and 6 Super Bowl wins for crying out loud.
That's right.
How can you be mad about it if a grown man in his 40s, who isn't going to be with you much longer anyway, chooses to finish his career somewhere else?
That's right. It's just part of the business, especially this day and age in the NFL. There's nothing wrong. It's been a great run. I don't want to see Brady go anywhere else. I'll be one to tell you that right now. I want to see him in New England. I do. I think I just want to see him, be in that uniform. First off, he is like the #1 symbol of a New England Patriot for me. I'm traditionalist that way. And of course, I feel like I want to see them make one more run at it too, because we know their team is good. They're a few players away. They need a few more weapons on offense. Certainly we know maybe another defensive lineman or 2, and they're going to be right back in the AFC Championship conversation.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.